Hey everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV team news reaction time here ahead of Liverpool versus Wolves in the FA Cup third round. Ste here with Dan Club removing his glasses like an absolute champion. Hope you're all well wherever you're tuning in from. Team news we think will be out in about 15 minutes time. We've gone a little bit early just in case they throw a little curveball in and do it at quarter two. But from what we're hearing, Dan, straight away, mate, it looks like the Reds are going strong. It looks like from the rumours and a couple of phone calls and whatever we've all had, it looks like Jürgen's going all guns out, which I guess because there's another week until we play Brighton. He hasn't got a midweek to worry about. Coming off the defeat against Brentford, where he probably wants to put a few things right. You'd have got long odds if you'd have said before the season Mo Salah's going to start an FA Cup third round game, but it looks like he is going all guns blazing for this one. Yeah,
it does. Yeah, it's pretty much what it looks like. It's as strong as we could possibly be, given the absentees. It's like a Premier League lineup or even a Champions League lineup for that matter. But it's interesting. Like normally, Klopp's usual approach would be rest and rotate. But like you say, we don't play now for another 7 days, and then we've got a little run, haven't we, of 7-day breaks, more or less, until sort of the Real Madrid game comes back into it. But moreover, for me, I think it's interesting because normally, like I say, he'd want to sort of rest his players and give them some time. But I think he actually wants to give them some form now. I think that's the point. Like we're not playing well, so he wants a bit of rhythm. We want to see something different from the same group of lads.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll keep an eye on it. I'm guessing the team will be out in about 15 minutes time. But yeah, the rumour is, by the way, that Cody Gakpo starts as well, which we'll definitely be looking forward to. Shout out to everyone, by the way, you're in the YouTube comments right now, or you're one of our Redmen Plus Club legends, get yourselves in the Discord, let us know your thoughts on Jürgen going essentially pretty strong, I suppose. And that's the beauty sometimes. We've seen big debuts in the third round of the FA Cup before. For enough, a Dutchman done it once as well against the Premier League side that scored the winner. If it is, we're led to believe Cody Gakpo starts on the left hand side. It's if not else, it's exciting to see a new lad back in the team, and someone who comes with a reputation of putting the ball in the back of the net, because, you know, as great as Mo Salah is and as good as I think Darwin Núñez is going to be and can be, we can't argue that Liverpool haven't finished chances. Well, Cody Gakpo comes with the reputation, that's his game. He might not offer too much else, maybe a little bit Diogo Jota-ish, but like, he puts the fucking ball in the back of the net, and Liverpool couldn't have to do with that one. If you're going to be ropey defensively, obviously without Virgil van Dijk now for a sustained period, having someone who's consistently firing in front of goal would certainly be a help.
Absolutely. There is an argument to say, isn't there? Like, you know, we're not defending well at all across the board this season, so we need to score more than the opposition. If we win some 4-3s, that'll do for me at the minute. Like, but yeah, it's always exciting when you get a new player in through the door, regardless of where they play. But when you sign a new attacker, it adds that little bit of extra edge, doesn't it? We had it with Luis Diaz sort of this time last year, a little bit further along, obviously, then Darwin Núñez in the summer, and now we had Cody Gakpo. So yeah, really excited to see him. Hopefully we do see him from the start, and yeah, another debut goal will do for me. Like,
yeah, absolutely. If a Dutchman wants to score a winning goal in the FA Cup third round, history repeating itself, having signed and stood in front of a Christmas tree with a shirt, we'll go to a shout out to Steve Ryder and Kieran, who are in the Discord chat. Kieran, I understand your joke, I've got your joke, I'm not going to read it out loud, but I get you, so we'll leave it at that, behind the scenes jokes there. There was a lot of talk, and I saw a lot of reaction to this, and again, it was in the Discord earlier today, funny enough, like, Jürgen's announced Alisson's the goalie, and there was a few things, because we're out the League Cup now, we're out much earlier than we were last season. Would there have been a temptation to play Keith Kelleher, because he's not going to play a game, such would now, because if he does play a game, it means something's gone wrong with Alisson Becker. There could have been a school of thought to give him this one, and if you got an easier draw in the next round, but no, Jürgen said Ali is the FA Cup goalie, Ali plays the FA Cup. Where do you stand on that?
Personally, I stand on it, probably should have been Kelleher, I think, like you say, because we've out of the League Cup so early, it would have been really tempting, and given that we've already seen reports to Kelleher kind of considering his future, like, everyone really likes him, we all know he's probably too good to be a number 2, even at Liverpool, like, he's a boss keeper, we've seen that firsthand. But yeah, I think a lot of people, their school of thought was it should be Kelleher. I know Chloe had it in her start 11 prediction yesterday. I had it in mine all week up until Klopp saying no, this is Alisson's. So yeah, Klopp has been really sort of clear in saying Alisson's FA Cup, Kelleher previously was League Cup, but I do think there was some scope to mix that up this time around.
Yeah, I think, again, listen, I'm never going to complain that Liverpool put the best goalkeeper in the world
Absolutely
in goal,
not.
and again, with another change at the back because of an injury, you can understand why, but like I say, in terms of keeping Kelleher's position, we're starting to get the first rumblings now that he's got his eye on some, which is completely understandable, because I say, off the top of your head, everyone here and everyone watching in the chat, both the Discord and the in the YouTube would be able to name 5 or 6 Premier League goalies easily who he's better than, and then there'd be debates about another 5 or 6 maybe as well, so you can get it from his point of view. But like I say, Jürgen's, he's not afraid to be ruthless, and he said, no, I'm my number one goalie. He's playing. I'm playing my best team, and my best goalie plays, and we all get on with it. Right, then, we were thinking the team might have come out at quarter 2. It looks like it hasn't, which is really good news for us. It gives us a little bit more time to digest and talk through a few things. So let's crack on with it now. It looks like Jordan Henderson's he is out of concussion protocol. Don't quite know what happens there, like the whole situation. We know obviously there's the limits how much training you can do, then how much contact training you can do, but he has trained, and again, we're led to believe, not officially, that he goes straight back into the midfield. I feel like it's a good move. I think Harvey Elliott's been a little bit of a lightning rod of criticism, really, which I think has been quite unfair. I don't think he has played particularly well. I think he's played too much, which hasn't helped us course. But yeah, it looks like, again, I think for both in terms of Henderson trying to get a bit of form back, and in terms of just giving Harvey Elliott that little bit of a breathing space, I think that's a good move from Jürgen.
Yeah, taking him out of the spotlight, I think, is really important. It's something Klopp probably would have liked to have done more, but because of various injuries, form, whatever it may be, he hasn't been able to. I mean, Naby Keita's sort of the shoe-in to sort of rotate with Harvey Elliott, but he's quite frankly never available.
Yeah, we're not aware. I mean, he didn't train again.
He did, exactly, yeah.
So we don't know.
It just more generally throughout the season, it would be sort of Keita, Elliott, Henderson, like a three-way sort of mix. But that doesn't happen often enough because of Keita's fitness and Henderson's at times as well. So yeah, I think Klopp would like to use Elliott more sparingly than he does. But like I say, this is an opportune moment to do it. And I think another point on Henderson come back in, not only all of his qualities, but the leadership that we lack so clearly as well at Brentford. Like, we were crying out for somebody to get hold of that team, and as outstanding as Virgil van Dijk is as a footballer, I don't think he's quite the leader that we all want him to be. So I think Henderson coming back in now is just a no-brainer.
Yeah, I think Liverpool could do, like I say, in terms of certain things. We'll see where we're at with James Milner, who missed a bit of training as well. So there's obviously still a few injuries there for Liverpool to keep an eye on, but yeah, as it stands, we're not sure. Hazel, Q, where are you guys looking at the team? Well, we haven't. The team is now yet, maybe, but we've heard whispers. That's all I can say on that one. Can't reveal too much about our sources, but yeah, it looks like Liverpool are going to be pretty strong for this game. Let's just leave it at that for now until we get there. But I say pretty strong, probably the best team they could put out. So yeah, that's where we are. And by the way, just on that, there's rumours that Wolves are doing the exact opposite, and are doing basically a lot of kids and it could be a very strong Liverpool against a much changed Wolves side, which in the UK might explain why it's on ITV4 and the Masked Singer staying on ITV. Maybe someone's got wind of something. We've had a super chat from Rabadan, one of our loyal watch long viewers. Let's pray Gakpo does well and avoids injury. Yeah, let's do so indeed, my friend, because that's exactly right. And again, I think we saw with Virgil van Dijk a debut goal, no matter what, if you can get it at Anfield, brilliant. So yeah, fingers crossed that he can do that. And like I say, whether he lasts the whole game, whether he lasts an hour, whatever we get from him in terms of looking after him. But yeah, I'm really excited. I just love seeing new signings.
I do as well, and it's fascinating to watch sort of how he fits into the front three as well, because we reckon it's going to be sort of with Núñez and Salah, and it's obvious on the face of it that he'll play from the left, Núñez centrally, but we've seen so much of Núñez from the left that those two could interchange a little bit as well. Absolutely. It's a really interesting watch, and we've done loads of talk about Gakpo and what he might look like. We had Joshing with Chris. I did a few expert insights and how he might fit into the Liverpool system. We could get our first glimpse of that tonight, and that's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, and like I say, for the Netherlands, he was like a central player. Exactly. And we saw when Ox played left wing, he essentially did the same. He drifted in a lot and allowed Núñez out. So I am excited to see where he fits, how he looks, yeah, and all that kind of stuff. Steve's in the Discord again. Please let's win this and draw Wrexham away. Yeah, I know Steve Ryder lives in Wrexham. He'd be made up. So yeah, I'm with you there. I wouldn't mind that as well.
It's on the cards as well. So Wrexham are winning at the minute.
I think they're very well. An hour gone. Yeah. In fact, I'll do that now. Then, as it stands, like there's games being played. Obviously, we know Man United beat Everton yesterday in quite comical fashion. So in terms of who Liverpool could play to get through this, and I'm not counting chickens, by the way. It's Southampton, then obviously Forest Green, Birmingham got postponed. Leicester won narrowly. Preston beat Huddersfield. Got Reading, Spurs, Blackpool with one of the upsets, I guess. Beating Nottingham Forest. Then Bournemouth and Accrington both drew. Burnley are through. There's a replay between Chesterfield and West Brom. Fleetwood got through. Fulham are through. Ipswich are through. Brighton battered Middlesbrough. Sheffield are through. Sunderland are through. And as it stands, yeah, Brentford and West Ham are still tied. Wrexham are leading Coventry. Grimsby and Burton are tied. Luton, Wigan's tied. Sheffield United and Newcastle are tied. So yeah, not really too many Premier League teams are out yet. Obviously, there had to be a couple. There's going to be another one later this evening, potentially, unless it's a draw, by the way, and the dreaded replays, which we don't want none of. But yeah, as it stands, there's quite a few Premier League teams through already, and then tomorrow there's a whole host of fixtures as well, including the likes of Leeds, Chelsea play tomorrow as well, and then I think even on Monday Arsenal go to Oxford, so there's plenty of FA Cup action over the next few weeks.
Chelsea Man City as well, isn't it? So another.
No, Chelsea, Chelsea City, so one of them two. One of those two are going to certainly go out. So yeah, we'll again, hopefully maybe draw on that one. But yeah, it's one of those where it looks like there aren't as many. The draws were quite favourable, I think, for most Premier League sides. Liverpool actually were one of the few teams who got an all Premier League one, really. But like I say, if the rumours are true that it's a much changed Wolves, and Wolves have probably got bigger fish to fry as well. Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that one. Right then, what we're going to do, because the team should be out in about 5 or 6 minutes time, let me know in the live chat or in the Discord right now if you're watching along live. Do let me know who you think will score Liverpool's first goal in this match. And yeah, I'm not that I'm going to have a bet on it, but if I was going to have a bet on it, I wouldn't mind some advice from you. In the meantime, by the way, if you're looking for something to watch when this show ends, before the watch-along starts, so we'll finish about 7:15, the watch-along will resume at 7:45, so you have a nice 30 minutes break, good maths, stay. If you want something to watch in that gap, I do recommend Last Fan Standing, the show that Paul Machin often appears on each and every week. The link's in the description below, so when we end, you can go and watch it. Here, to whet your appetite, is a clip from this week's edition of the show.
I don't think it can be Liverpool, because Liverpool I don't think Klopp got backed in the right way, and that's an ownership situation. And they're ahead of Chelsea, who were backed by 300 million quid worth of...
How many more 70 players did he need?
What, Liverpool?
Well, how did he not get backed if he was being given a...
I don't think he got backed. He needed a midfielder pronto, just like Paul said. So yeah, I don't think he was backed right. Not everyone can go out and spend 300 million quid, but I think there's a couple of signs they could have added this summer. I think that's fair to say. It's not ridiculous to say that. I think Chelsea went out and backed Tuchel and then sacked him after they brought all these lads in. Koulibaly comes in, Raheem Sterling. These are players in their prime, ready to go. The kind of age bracket that Liverpool could have done with. Liverpool are a couple of points ahead of Chelsea. Chelsea are behind Brighton. That is hugely embarrassing. And I think the way Liverpool's beat City in the league, obviously got through the Champions League group, looked really, really sharp in the Champions League. And again, as Paul mentioned, last season were so close to doing well. Last season Chelsea were shocking as well. So yeah, I think for me, Chelsea, with the amount of money they've put in it, and then they put Graham Potter in charge, who's got no experience at that level. I think he's a good coach on his day. But you remove Tuchel to do that, and then to be behind Brighton at this point in the season, where results haven't picked up, with the money that they've spent, they haven't spent it a load of young players. This kind of long-term approach. The fact, again, Koulibaly's come in, maybe it hasn't worked out. Even the spine that won the Champions League a couple of years ago, Thiago Silva's levels dropped off. Mendy, what's happened to him? Kai Havertz dropped off. They've sold Werner, Lukaku, two massive deals that haven't worked out, and they've made a loss on them financially. Where Chelsea are, it should not be 8th in the Premier League table. They have to be a top 4 club consistently with form, and they're just not. And it has to be Chelsea for me.
Yeah, there you have it, Last Fan Standing. Do go and check that out when we end. And yeah, I've seen in the YouTube chat here, Stephen says Flab's full of nonsense on Last Fan. Go over there and tell him. Go and again, be nice, but tell him in the comment section. Tell him we sent you if that's what you think as well. But yeah, do go and check it out with Paul and the guys after the show. We asked before the break then, or before that little clip rather, who you think will get Liverpool's first goal today. Richard's gone for Nunes. We've had a shout for Canate from Mobash. Right. Ty cheated and said Salah or Nunez. I can't be. You need to pick one, Ty. That's
can't put that any better.
Yeah, I mean you could, but I don't think the odds would be particularly great. Let's have a little look as well. John Lee, David Blackshaw in the Discord. Cody getting himself a debut perfect hat trick. Header, left foot, right foot. Yeah, who goes? I wouldn't hate it. And LFC Mav as well has gone for Salah. Absolutely, yeah. That would be the obvious favourite, wouldn't it? Yeah, so yeah, there's plenty there. Make sure you tune in for us. Like I say, I'm guessing just moments away then from the official team coming out, and obviously we'll react to the team news as well. I'm hearing Ben Doak is involved in the squad, by the way, on the bench, but again, we're unable to confirm that until Liverpool decide to throw their tweet out. I wouldn't mind seeing a bit more of Ben Doak again. The idea, we were speaking there just very quickly there, Dan, and we said... if it goes along the lines, if they do play a much changed team and Liverpool can get some goals, it can allow you to bring a few lads off the bench, so you might see a bit more of Ben Doak or maybe more of a Bacchetta or whatever, and give. That's the ideal. That's why we wanted that for ages. The Reds just haven't been good enough to do it. So hopefully if it is a much changed Wolves side, that could be something. I'm excited to see more of Ben Doak. I think, like I say, he's 17. You've got to be careful with him. But if there's a game where there's not too much pressure, I'm just going to express myself. It could be fun, if nothing else.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was an interesting one because we haven't really got a lot of an ideal replacement for Salah, have we? Apart from Ben Doak in a minute, like you look at him and you go, he's the one. Then I think a lot of people were expecting Salah to be rested for this one, but clearly that doesn't look like it's going to be the case. But yeah, it'd be nice if we could get sort of well in the lead. And I mentioned the Villa game we played against their kids a couple of years ago now, and anything akin to that where we can kind of refresh it and give the youngsters half an hour at the end to be the perfect scenario for Klopp in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I fingers crossed that's where we're at. By the way, yeah, I wouldn't be adverse to it. I think we got a glimpse of him against Derby, didn't we, in that League Cup game? Well, if nothing else, he's just fun. He's
exciting.
Yeah, and I liked him. Even against was it Villa when he come on and sends Luca Dean for an echo. Yeah, it's all fun and games. But like I say, Liverpool have got to cross a bridge. I mean, maybe not. Maybe he's an option to come on if you need a goal. I wondered the other day. I don't think it'd have been the worst idea to have him on the bench against Brentford. I thought it was just as just an X factor, and he hasn't done it, so it'd be nice again. It looks like he is going to be on the bench tonight.
Yeah, he's just fearless, isn't he? That's what I love about him. Like you say, it doesn't matter what he gets thrown into. That's certainly how it looks anyway. Yeah. I know we spoke to Jay Spearman briefly when he came in. He said the kid's not bothered. He just goes and plays like it was like in the park, and I love that about youngsters. And if you just got that about you, Premier League game, whatever stage, just goes and does it. And I think you're right. I think throwing him in any game, whether it be the Brentford one the other day, it doesn't matter to him. It doesn't matter. So
yeah, the fearlessness of youth.
Exactly.
I no longer have that, unfortunately. Either does Paul. I think Paul's watching along now. I don't think Paul's got it. We went to Paul's 40th last night as well.
No, he's got the hangover of age, I think, at the minute. Paul. It's very different.
It's an alcohol injury. When you're 40, Gaffer, you've got to take care of yourself. Those Sambuca shots, we're doing them no favours at all. Right then, producer Joe from Yond just told me the team is out, so I'm going to bring it up on the screen and I'm going to leg it over to the board while Dan confirms it to you. Got your glasses on, Dan?
Got my glasses on. Right in front of me, but for effect, I put my glasses on. Yeah, so it's as strong as we expected, really. Klopp has certainly gone for it. There's no doubt about that. So what have we got? We've got Alisson in goal. Yep. Trent at right back. Joel Matip and Ibu Konate in the absence of Virgil van Dijk. Andy Robbo at left back, so he's gone full strength there. He's gone Fabinho, Thiago and Henderson. Cody Gakpo, Mo Salah, Darwin Núñez, and on the bench you've got Kelleher, Gomez, Naby Keita's missing. We haven't got Naby Keita on there.
I'll get him.
Yeah, you find Naby Keita. The Ox is right. Elliott on the bench. Tsimikas, Carvalho, Phillips, and the aforementioned Ben Doak.
So I think I was close enough to it. There's no Bacchetta. It's Naby instead.
It's Naby instead. You got Ben Doak there. You got Elliott. That's right.
Yeah, we're good.
That's it.
So as Bacchetta. Right, then come to me and I'll go through it one more time. Complete with our who got covered up for Cody Gakpo. Would you like to know?
I would like to know. I'm going to say Arthur.
Oh, Luis Diaz. Oh. We'll order a new one soon. Yeah, it looks nice. Nothing else. I mean, it's not great. It's fine. We're all right. We've got Ali in goal. We've got Robbo, Konate, Matip, Trent, Fab, Thiago, Hendo. We've got Gakpo, Darwin, and Mo Salah. Like, what's this FA Cup third round shit that I'm involved in? Fair enough, says Mo Salah. Kelleher, Gomez, Tsimikas, Phillips, Elliott, Carvalho, Doak, Naby Keita, and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Good to see Naby on the bench at least, because like I say, when he didn't train, I was half worried that he was going to be out for another month or so. So Liverpool are still injured in terms of, no Virgil, obviously, which we now know. Diaz and Jota are long-term injuries, as we know. Curtis Jones, again, not featuring, come on the other day, but isn't in this squad. Don't know if that's injury-related or it's just a tactical decision. Bobby Firmino, James Milner as well, probably missing a few others. But Liverpool have still got themselves a pretty strong team. They are obviously the FA Cup holders. A chance to win a trophy, maybe Liverpool's best chance to win a trophy could be retaining this one. So yeah, it's a very, very strong team. I'm going to make my way back over there. Dan, what are your major takeaways from the team? Is it all Gakpo loving?
It's massively all Gakpo loving for me. Yeah, I just can't wait to see him. I mean, obviously, I think we've had time to sort of digest it now. We're all quite surprised with just how strong he's gone. I don't think anyone truly expected that. Like, it's FA Cup third round, like you say. Like, Mohamed Salah starting this game is just out of the ordinary for what Jurgen Klopp normally does at this stage. Yeah. But, yeah, I do get it. I think, like we've already said, the 1 week break we've got for quite a long time now between games is part of it. But I also think, like I said earlier, he's just normally we haven't got the luxury. We haven't got the luxury at the minute of saying, "Oh no, we're all playing boss, so you have a break, you have a break." We're not playing well, so you need to play football to get yourself back in form. And I think this smacks of that. Like, if who knows, Darwin Núñez gets a goal tonight, Salah gets another goal tonight, Gakpo gets off the mark. All of a sudden, the complexion moving forward is completely different.
Yeah, Mo Salah. I'm just checking here on LFC history. Actually, he's only ever played 8 FA Cup games in total for Liverpool, including obviously last year when we did pretty well. But yeah, he doesn't feature often in these games. That is for sure. Sometimes off the bench, but he very rarely does. So just a 9th FA Cup appearance for Mo Salah in this competition. I'm going to try and find it very, very quickly now. I'll try and find the Wolves team to bring it to, because I'm guessing they're out as well. There we go. We've got it. Yeah, we have. They've got a change in goal first of all. Sarkic. Don't know who that is. No. Lembikisa.
Wow, okay.
Collins and Totti and Johnny, their first teamers, pretty much.
Yeah,
Adama is a first teamer, obviously. Neves playing Hodge, Aït-Nouri, Jimenez and Guedes. So that's a debut, is it? Is that right?
No, Kuna would be the debut.
Guedes. When did he join recently?
Kuna was January.
Yeah.
Gonzalo Guedes was in the summer.
Kuna's on the bench, yeah, you're right. And then Sarjuan, Kuna, Mosquera. Yeah. Semedo, Kilman, Ronan, Núñez, the other one. Maybe Liverpool trying to buy. Yeah. And Bueno as well, who's got a name like a chocolate bar. But yeah, it's a mixed one. It isn't as young as we were led to believe, but it isn't exactly Wolves' first team either. He's gone a bit half and halfy with that one.
There's a couple of big numbers in there. Lembikis's 81.
Yeah, and 81 and a 59. Yeah, usually says something there. 13 is always your sub. It should be your sub goalie. Yeah, so he hasn't exactly gone full strength with it. But yeah, again, Wolves have got bigger fish to fry probably than the FA Cup this season. Well, definitely. And Lopetegui obviously has decided now it's time to get a couple of lads some minutes on the pitch. Wheelstone Raider in the chat, I don't think it's the real one, says, why play such a strong 11 for the FA Cup? And I think, like you just said there, Dan, before, the fact that there's no... I think Jürgen likes rhythm. I think to give everyone 2 weeks off before they play... What's going to be a difficult game, Brighton away is not going to be easy. I'm going down there next week and I'm fully aware Liverpool have got a game on their hands. Brighton are in good form pretty much. They scored a lot of goals. They scored 5 today again. Alexis McAllister come back from the World Cup, gets a couple today. And they have been a dangerous team. I just don't think Jürgen wants them sitting down for 2 weeks. And also, like I say, get yourself back in form. You don't want the last game the lads play before they go to Brighton being basically battered by Brentford for a half a game or whatever. So I think that's the reasoning behind it. The fact that if they were playing midweek, then yeah, perhaps they wouldn't have done this. But yeah, because it is a game week, not like until they play Real Madrid. There's a chance that if Liverpool get through this, they play the next game the week after the Chelsea game, he could go strong again, because as long as it's 1 game a week, I think he'd be perfectly happy with that. It's only remember last year we had the 2-legged FA Cup game, League Cup semi-finals around this stage, so we prioritised them. This time, and obviously again COVID at that point as well, when we had to play literally the reserves against Shrewsbury. It's a bit different this time, but I think that's all there is to answer the question. I think he's gone, we're happy playing a game a week. I don't want them sitting down too long, because again he's big into rhythm and rolling game to game. Yeah,
and rightfully so as well. For me, it's a no-brainer that he's done this. Don't get me wrong, there was part of me that thought, this is Jurgen Klopp, this is the FA Cup, he's gonna change it. Clearly he hasn't done. I believe this is the right thing that he's done. I think this is the right call. But yeah, to your point, I mean, the League Cup's next week. Wolves are actually involved in the League Cup game next week, which kind of lends itself to their team selection as well as the Premier League plight that they're facing. So yeah, I think it makes perfect sense to me. And like you say, Brighton away. Brighton at the best of times for Liverpool has proved to be quite difficult. Like even when we're playing really well and they're just doing okay, at the minute it's roles reverse. Like they're on the crest of a wave and we're sort of scrambling around to find some sort of form. So yeah, for me, going strong and sort of keeping any sort of rhythm is so important.
No, I completely agree with it. There's no doubt for me. I think he made the right decision. Time will tell in a couple of hours' time. Because what he don't want, and again, and I think this might play a part in it, the last thing he wants is a replay.
No, yeah.
Like, be arsed with that. I remember when Jürgen first arrived, and I think he drew. I think we drew West Ham once, and we drew with Exeter, and he couldn't get his head around the fact that they had replay. He was like, what is this kind of thing? And now, obviously, during COVID and pandemic season, and when they were playing catch from the pandemic, they got scrapped as it stands. there are still replays in the 3rd and 4th round. I think it's from the 5th round onwards where they go. I think at some point that'll change and it'll be gone altogether. But yeah, there is a chance. The last thing Liverpool want is a replay, and the last thing Wolves want is a replay. I think that half plays into it as well, because that's how you do end up with a midweek game. It's shoehorned in the next midweek, and a replay in the FA Cup just before you're potentially playing Chelsea or whatever. That's the last thing Jurgen's after. That might explain as well. Get this 1-1 and get it won today.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it just lends itself to the fact it's the right call he's made with the team selection. But he spoke about replays yesterday and how he's still baffled by them. He didn't turn up to one of them. Remember the Shrewsbury one at Anfield? He didn't turn up. We sent the assistant manager, not even the assistant, I think it was the academy manager, wasn't it, at the time?
Wasn't that when they were meant to be on the winter break?
Yeah, that's right.
And he had to play a replay. And he was like,
drew at Shrewsbury, didn't we? He had to go back to it. He just never turned up. So yeah, he's got no interest in replays, that fella. No interest in replays. But yeah, and I tend to agree with him. Growing up, the FA Cup had replays. That's just the way it was. It's a money spinner for the lesser clubs. I do get all that. But football's changed now. They need to go. They've gone, obviously, in recent seasons for various reasons, like COVID. But it's mad how we've had a World Cup in the middle of the season. They haven't sort of factored that into not having replays as well. It seems strange to me.
Yeah, we are where we are with those. We've got a Discord chat here from Quadbod. Cody, does he play left or does Jurgen put him down the middle? I'm just thinking with the short lead up in terms of training time. I guess he's saying it might be easier to just throw him down the middle and put him out on the left. My guess is he goes on the left. I think that's what he was signed for, to play over there. My reading of this is that when everybody's fit, we don't see much of Jota from the left anymore.
No.
We see Jota either plays up front or maybe doing bits from the right. Diaz and Gakpo are your left options. Nunes, Jota, Firmino up front, and then Salah, Jota maybe over on the right-hand side. And there's a good chance now, potentially, that Bobby Firmino, who knows where Bobby Firmino's future is, but my guess is he sticks out wide left. But again, you said this before, there's every option where Darwin goes and plays left wing and Gakpo goes centre fireworks, because he plays centre in the World Cup, so we know he can do it. I'm just not sure he's a striker. I think he's more of a 10. But like I say, Liverpool played Bobby Firmino there for 5 years. He was not a striker, so yeah, I think it's a really good question. I don't think we can just nail him onto the left. That was just my presumption.
No, I think that's right. I think you are presuming correctly in that. And I do think sort of from the outset we will see Gakpo on the left and Nunes centrally. But what I agree with the point in the Discord is that I think they'll interchange quite nicely. It'd be interesting if suddenly we sort of target an area and Nunes, for whatever reason, got their right back on toast and he's just burned him time and time again. They can just swap.
Yeah.
Gakpo can drop deep if there's space, like Firmino does so well. And then we'll just play that way for a little bit, and if it's not working, we'll change it back. And it's just nice to have them options. Like, how often when we've sort of got our set front three, is that the front three? We can't do that. But with these three, I mean, Salah not so much, but Salah can go centrally as well, so there is a little bit of that there. But with Gakpo and Nunes, it's going to be really fascinating to watch them.
I think with Gakpo as well, and if you haven't watched it already, by the way, another thing you could watch is the deep dive on YouTube with Chris and Josh Williams, our newest show. In fact, you can watch that again after this one if you want to go and do so. They point out how good a crosser he is. Josh explained it really well. He's got like a pitching wedge of a cross. He likes to just little dinks in, and he's really accurate with them, and he's not great. He actually isn't great in the air himself in terms of scoring ahead of goals. So maybe it could be that's another thing. And if you play him out left, you're giving him the chance to use one of his biggest attributes. He's a lethal finisher, but from the left, but also like he's got a cross on him. If you play him centrally, you can't negate one of his biggest strengths, and that is, there's a reason why he's not only the top scorer in the Dutch league, but he was also a top assister as well, because he's got that on him. So I think personally, it feels like his all-round game. Although he can play central and we see him do it well for the Netherlands, it does feel like he lends himself to being a left-sided forward. Yeah,
one thing I do think we're going to see a lot of today to kind of slightly go away from that point. I think you're dead right. The crossing, Nunes could well thrive off that, but I think we're going to see a hell of a lot of Andy Robbo overlapping him, because I think he likes to sort of cut inside and sort of take up that, for want of a better description, Philip Coutinho sort of area where he just cuts in on his right foot, and a lot of his best work comes in that area, which is just going to mean we're going to see loads. And Mane did it as well, didn't he? Mane was often cutting inside and Robbo was going. I think we're going to see a lot more of that tonight too.
Yeah, absolutely indeed. Right then, me and Dan are going to go and take a quick break and then come back in about 40 minutes or so time for the watch along. So yeah, set your little alarm bells on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, press the alert notification, and you'll get a little alert when we go live at 1:45 the hour for the watch along. So yeah, get it on your TV, press mute, sync up with our clock, and we'll have 100% biased commentary of Liverpool versus Wolves in the FA Cup. Can't wait to get involved. Hopefully you come and join us. Yeah, do go and check out Last Fan Standing. The link is in the description below, and me and Dan will be back in about 40 minutes time. See you in a bit.
Get closer to Liverpool Football Club and the amazing city of Liverpool with Redmen Plus. More content for your eyes and ears, documentaries, extra bonus Redmen shows, podcast features, interviews. Get close to the culture of Liverpool Football Club on Redmen Plus.